Evening, folks. This is the Bicoastal Baseball Podcast on the Grid Network. I'm Mike Guido. That's Dalton Brown. It is great to have you here. Dalton donning the Milwaukee Brewers hat this evening. We do have a Brewers topic today, so it is fitting. Dalton, we had a week off. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks, you too.
Appreciate it. How was your week, my friend?
Man, it's look, as far as like personally, it's been good. I mean, I had some friends in town over Labor Day, celebrate my birthday, had a ton of fun. Football started, which has been consuming a lot of my energy as well. So that's super fun. I mean, life is good. The Dodgers, though, oh boy, it's bad.
Yeah, we have plenty of stuff to talk about when it comes to the Dodgers, certainly. I'm sure some of it will be covered in the rant. We also have a separate topic as well for them a little bit later in the show as well. Plenty of stuff to go over today. Like I said, the AL wildcard race, if you kind of look at the standings right now, you can almost like beg the question, like, are the playoffs like sort of set in stone? Has there been a big enough gap separated in the wild card race and maybe in some of the division races as well, that the current playoff picture that we see with maybe a couple of minor changes in seeding, is this what we're going to see come October? So we'll have that discussion as well, especially in the American League, right? Because the Mariners right now, they have a game and a half lead into that last wild card spot. The Rangers, by the way, are the team that's trailing them right now. It's the Rangers. Royals are 2 back, 2.5 back of the Guardians. We'll talk about that a little bit later as well. I think it might be time, Dalton. It might be time that we just admit that the Brewers are pretty good, and they might just be taking advantage of the way that you put it when you sent it to me is a lack of team greatness, right, in Major League Baseball right now.
Yeah.
So we'll touch on that a little bit later as well. Plus, we have Hot Corner at the end of the show today, so stick around for that. But as we do every single show, and we appreciate all the comments that come in and the people that interact with our show, we cater to our own fan bases. Sorry, not sorry about that. Dodgers, Yankees. Dalton, you're the defending champs, and you told me to brace myself. So where do we stand in Dodger land at the moment?
I don't know if standing is really what's going on in Dodgerland at the moment. I would argue that it's a little bit more of like laying down going on in Dodgerland at the moment. Look, people who know me well have heard me complain about the effort level, the care level, the fight level, the intensity level that Dave Roberts brings to the Dodgers. It's been an issue, in my opinion, for a decade. It has cost the Dodgers playoff series in the past. And last year, I felt like, at least from the way he was managing the game's perspective, he fixed that in the playoffs. Like, he made decisions outside of throwing a few games, which I still will never forgive him for, but he did enough, right? He made enough of the right decisions in big moments, bringing in Trinan and Buehler late in that Yankee game being an example of it, to win. And I give him credit for that, and I've taken it really easy on him for that. That being said, a World Series hangover is an acceptable form of malaise if it lasts for a month, maybe 2. That's okay. This team came into the season red hot, feeling the momentum of the World Series, and started the season 8-0, and eventually 15-6 was their high watermark like back then, right? That was on April 18th. The Dodgers were in Texas. I was on my honeymoon. Life was good. Since then, the Dodgers have been basically the Cleveland Guardians. They've been like basically a 500 team. Yeah. To be this talented and to be 15 games over 500 on September 8th is an affront to the game. It's an embarrassment. It's the kind of thing that would have me calling for Roberts' head if we didn't just win a World Series. And what really bothers me is just how I still don't feel fire coming from them. It's a lot of like, well, taking it one game at a time. We believe in what we're doing. We're going to be, hopefully we'll be better tomorrow.
Right.
It's not a lot of like, yeah, what we've been is unacceptable and it needs to be fixed immediately. That's a huge issue.
Yeah.
And I think it was summed up really well the other night with Dave Roberts. After the reason I'm looking down is because I'm pulling up the quote. Dave Roberts, after the Dodgers blew a 3-0 lead to the Orioles after no hitting the Orioles for 8.2 innings, says, "You feel like there are so many things where you could get a little bit of momentum, build off a great outing by Yoshinobu, and take that into tomorrow. And then, obviously, it completely flipped. But the guys fought hard. So with the way we played, I got no complaints."
Wow.
What do you mean you've got no complaints?
Yeah, right.
Like, we got to throw strikes. We got to make plays on defense. We got to be able to score more than 3 runs every once in a while. This has been an average baseball team, seemingly by choice this season. Like, the at-bat quality is poor and lazy. The fielding has been beyond. I mean, Teoscar Hernandez, you know how much I love Teoscar Hernandez.
Yep.
He's been an embarrassment. Like, don't get me wrong, he's been fine at the plate. He's contributed about what you'd expect. He's been the worst defender in baseball. Like, any ball hit to him, he's a complete liability as to what route he's going to take, whether he's going to be sprinting after it, whether he's going to be paying attention when the ball's hit to him, whether he's going to feel the ball that's already on the ground when it's on its way to him, or whether it's going to go under his glove. Those things to me are a lack of effort. They're a lack of focus. They're a lack of intensity. And apparently, I heard through the grapevine that Teoscar Hernandez, one of his conditions for signing back with the Dodgers, that he was their everyday right fielder. Okay, maybe you make that promise to begin the season. But if you're not willing to strip that away from him when he becomes this bad in right field, I'm sorry, you're gutless. You're spineless. Like, deal with it. Like, if Teoscar wants to come public with that, let's say Roberts pulls him out of right field, doesn't play him out there anymore, and Teoscar goes to the media and says, "Hey, I was promised I'd be playing right field when I signed here." Who do you think the whole world's going to side with in that spot?
Teoscar Hernandez.
Probably the team, right?
You think so?
Oh yeah. I mean, with the number of errors he's made, it's going to be, listen, man, I get you wanted to play right field, but you've been horrendous out there. Like, you're a liability.
Yeah. I mean, I think smart baseball fans that pay attention would probably agree with you. I think you're going to get the very pro play, like the very pro player landscape that we live in now. I think are going to say, "Hey, you told me he was going to play right field every day. Sorry, eat shit." Like, I guess part of it for me is I am very pro player. Like, I fall into that category. You are. No, right. Yeah.
And to me, there's like, look, once you make a certain number of errors and you're actively hurting the team by playing there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, you're not owed shit. Like, if you were playing at least a similar level of right field to last year, fine, but you're not owed shit. Mm-hmm. The problem with all of this too is there's no accountability. Like, nobody ever gets benched. Nobody ever feels the brunt of things. It's just like, hey, yeah, we could have used a better at bat there. Yeah, he misplayed that ball. We're expecting him to make that play next time. That's fine, but like, there's no accountability. That just I can't do it, Mike. And honestly, this last week, to get swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates, a team that traded away any talent that they have and isn't playing for anything at all, and then to go to Baltimore and lose 2 out of 3, especially losing a game where Yamamoto took a no-hitter into 2 outs in the 9th inning. It's just a lack of having each other's back. It's a lack of fire. It's a lack of care. It's a team that clearly won the World Series and didn't come into this year with the right mindset. And this all boils down to exactly what I've said about Dave Roberts and about how this organization handles its players for a long time. Part of the reason he's so loved is because he coddles these guys. He doesn't hold anybody accountable. He's very easy on them. And so you can imagine going into the season, it was a whole celebration, right? Spring training, it was your World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Every night at Dodger Stadium, welcome to the field, your World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers. That's all fine and good, but you can't let that shit into the locker room.
Yeah.
And they clearly did. So we'll talk about the Dodgers more. Luckily for them, the Padres are doing whatever the hell they're doing and losing a bunch of games also. Both teams 3-7 in their last 10. So somehow the Dodgers are in first place, despite the fact that they have a record that most seasons would put them maybe on the edge of the playoffs.
Yep.
It's embarrassing, Mike. It's absolutely embarrassing. It leads you to a point where you almost don't want this season to get validated with playoff success.
Yeah. You know,
obviously when they get there, I'm going to be rooting for them, but you know what I mean?
Well, right. And you said something that I think is very important when it comes to them too. And we don't have to spend too long on this because we're going to talk about them later. But like they had such high we talk about it all the time, how high their expectations were going into the year, obviously coming off the World Series, but then seemingly getting better, right? Signing everybody under the sun, it felt like. I mean, they just figured out how to build in this impenetrable roster, this perceived impenetrable roster. And then it just feels like they knew that and coasted for most of the year.
Yeah.
You know, like that's kind of what it feels like to me. The Dodgers have this aura about them. And this is just from an outsider's perspective that doesn't watch the Dodgers every day. I'm not a Dodger fan. I'm not within the community. The way it looks on the outside is that the Dodgers know that they're better than everybody else, or at least should be. They have the best roster on the team. They have the best roster in the majors. They have undeniably the most talent in the majors. They have the best player in the majors, no doubt. And they're just kind of coasting. That's the way that it feels to me, is that they have so many opportunities to grab, for the lack of a better term, grab the majors by the balls and just dominate. And a lot of this, I shouldn't say a lot, but at least a good portion of this, I think, is due to injury. They've had a ton of bad injury luck this year also. But as you said before, there just seems to be a bit of complacency. There seems to be a bit of comfort and like a bit of a lack of urgency. It sounds, and the reason I can relate is because everything that you just said sounds like me 3 weeks ago when I was saying the same thing about the Yankees. Like this, like crap that's going on, this unacceptable, state of baseball that they're in right now sounds very similar to what I was dealing with in New York.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that I would disagree with you on is the use of the word coasting, because I think coasting suggests that they're floating. I would argue that they're sinking. Mm-hmm. I think it's just been, I mean, the part of it that's so frustrating is you're getting an unbelievable season out of Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
Clayton Kershaw's 10-2 with a 3.27 ERA. He's been elite.
Yeah.
Yamamoto has been more than good enough. Like, Tyler Glasnow is healthy. Blake Snell is healthy. Shohei Ohtani is healthy and pitching. Emmett Sheehan is healthy and pitching. You have everything you need.
Yeah.
Tanner Scott's healthy. Blake Trinan's healthy. Kirby Yates is healthy. Yeah, you're missing Evan Phillips. You're missing Brewstar Gratterall, but like, you've got enough talent. A lot of it too is like, don't even get me started on the bullpen. Like, Tanner Scott is horrible out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, bad. Blake Trinan all of a sudden can't throw strikes.
Yeah.
Now, I'll give Blake Trinan this. He's the only guy who, when I hear him speak after these games, sounds like it eats at him. Like, sounds like he gives a shit.
Yeah.
Like, after that outing in Baltimore where he couldn't throw a strike and he blew Yoshinobu's no-hitter, the way he talked about it afterward was very much just like, that's 100% on me. I have to be better. I feel horrible for the fact that I didn't pick up my teammate. Like, full ownership and full, like, this is not okay. We need more of that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it really is something. And we'll talk about the Dodgers a little bit more later in the show as well, because we do have a designated topic for them going in. But all right, now let's move to the Bronx. So this is a very weird situation for me to be in, right? Because last week I told you I'm out. Like, I have no faith. And I still am not going to let it be like this one little nice week. Be like, okay, we're back.
2 weeks ago, to be fair to you.
But it was 2 weeks ago. You're right. It was 2 weeks ago. But okay, like, this is better. This is better. Okay. Now, clearly, not everything is perfect. Okay. Defensively, there still are massive issues. Finally, thank goodness we have Aaron Judge playing the field again, and we don't have to see any more Giancarlo Stanton in right field, because as much as I love him, and believe me, I love Stanton. I do. I love him. But that guy is as stiff as a board. He can't move at all. Watching him play the outfield is painful. It really is. I'm fine with him. Just go be on my team and hit a lot of homers. Like, that's all I want you to do. I want you doing nothing else. I don't even want you running. But this was a big week, a very big week. Especially, like I said, especially this past week, taking 2 of 3 on the road against the Astros, and then taking 2 of 3 at home against the Blue Jays. That's a really big week. Okay. And I really came into this weekend losing to the Blue Jays 7-1 first game of the series. I'm like, fuck, here we go again. Like we're just down the same road. And then they rebounded. They got great outings. They got good outings out of Max Fried, out of Luis Heel. Like, they got good outings from guys that they needed. So I feel really good about that. Again, another big week coming up as well. Home against the Tigers for 3. Then you go to Boston to play 3 more. So a big week coming up. But it's finally good to be seeing, right? Because they had such a cake week prior to that. We're like, okay, yeah, you swept the Nationals, and then you took 3 out of 4 from the White Sox. Like, congratulations. Like, you're expected to beat those teams. But then you finally played some actual, real playoff competition, and you didn't look like you didn't belong. Like, it actually felt nice. Like, I don't remember the last time I felt that feeling about this team this year. I don't. Like, they actually looked like they deserved to be a playoff team for the first time in like 3 months. I was like, what the hell is good? Like, it was wild. Now, again, it's not all positive, right? Because the bullpen, as much as I'd like to say, like, it's better, and I do think that it's better, it's still pretty rocky. Like, Camilo Doval has been very suspect since he's come back. Devin Williams, I just can't, like, I don't know how to feel when he comes in, because he has these stretches where, like, he'll give up no runs and 1 hit through 17 innings, but then he'll blow up his next 2 innings and give up 6 runs. I'm like, I don't know how to feel about him anymore, because he's literally, we got rid of Clay Holmes so that we didn't have to deal with it, and now Devin Williams is literally Clay Holmes, but worse. Like, it blows my mind. But
I think that's part of baseball. You're always going to have to deal with some form of that particular it. Reliever is just not being predictable year to year.
Drives me insane.
Mike, looking at the Yankees schedule too, and looking at their situation, I just want to. I mean, you're probably aware of all this, well aware of all this, but like, okay, so you're 2 games out in the division behind Toronto.
Yeah,
that's a huge deal. Because if you can leapfrog Toronto in that division, you're probably getting a bye, because you're finishing most likely ahead of Houston at this point if you're doing that, right? Yeah. So you figure that's really worth fighting for the Yankees. And when I look at what these 2 teams have left, this week for New York is going to determine everything. Yeah. Like, if you can, like, let's say, I mean, because you're playing the Tigers, right? They're the team that we already know is going to get a bye.
Yeah.
So you're playing the Tigers, and you're going to Boston to go play what, frankly, has been the boogeyman this year for you, right? So if you can come out of that week, even 3-3, the last 2 weeks of the season, 3 in Minnesota, 4 in Baltimore, 3 against the White Sox, 3 against Baltimore. Like,
cake.
Those are teams just running out the clock on their season. And you get to play, what is that, 10? No. 13 straight games against those teams. So, meanwhile, by the way, while you're doing that, Toronto is going to be on the road in Tampa. I'm talking about the last 2 weeks. This week, Toronto gets Astros and Orioles. Then they go on the road to Tampa for 4. It's going to be hot, right? The Rays are at least not a total pushover. Then you're going to go on the road to play a Royals team that we'll talk about it later.
Fighting for a playoff spot, right?
Fighting, right? And then you come home and play a Red Sox team that's very, very solid, and then you play the Rays again. Like, Mike, if the Yankees have a decent week this week, they're winning the division. That's my take. They're winning the division.
It's so crazy to say. It really is. They were horrible, and I mean that's the crazy part too. Is like there still are glimpses of this team that are horrible. You watch the Yankees, sometimes you're puzzled that they're not 0 and 140. Like it really like they are sometimes brutal. But yeah, listen, if the Yankees do win the division, Dalton, and I honestly think this, and I think you'd agree, this past series taking 2 of 3 from the Blue Jays that was the point. That was the pivotal point. Like that's the thing that changed it. Because think about it. Like if the Yankees got swept by the Blue Jays, it's over. It's over. Yeah. Like it's just now you're 6 games back, and like I'm sorry, even if you play great baseball, you just don't have enough time to make up that much ground.
Yeah, they had to get 2, and they did.
Right, they had to get 2, and you gained 1. Now you're 2 back, and now it's reasonable. Don't do this to me. Fucking, I'm telling you now.
I mean, I'm telling you, like the Yankees to me should be favored to win that division at this point.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, like it sounds kind of nuts because they're 2 games back. And look, I will say this: you can't tie, right? So you're basically 3 games back because Toronto won the season series. But
right,
I mean, where are the like? This is the week. Like you just can't. If you lose 2 out of 3 to Detroit and go to Boston and get swept, then you've really thrown it all away. But if they're decent this week, we know what they do to bad teams. They might win 12 of their last 13.
We know what they do to bad teams, but we also know what they do against division opponents. I'm not saying that they're going to lose a bunch of games to the Orioles, but they could because they have been awful against the AL East this year. So I'm not going to like give them a pass and say like I'm fully confident now. I'm still kind of shaking, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll get there. And one last thing on them, like it's time to move on from Anthony Volpe. It just is, dude. He just sucks. Like it's and like I hate saying that because I like him, but like that kid is like since August 1st, I think he's been the worst offensive player in baseball. Like it's not particularly close. Like that kid strikes out every other at bat. It feels like every game he strikes out 3 times. Like he's just not seeing like, and there's no quality of his game that's redeeming him at the moment right now either. It's not that he's struggling at the plate and he's a Gold Glove shortstop. He's struggling at the plate as much as anybody in baseball, and he's also leading the majors in errors. Like he's just brutal out there. Like at some point you have to say, okay, like Volpe's got to get benched, and the best, as weird as it sounds to say, our best chance at winning playoff games is if Jose Caballero is our everyday shortstop. Like it feels weird to say, but that kind of is the reality at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I would be shocked if Volpe's a Yankee next year. Like he feels like the kind of guy where because there's still some control, you can still trade him and a team will be willing to take a chance on him and trade you something with value. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no way he's a Yankee next year. He's got to get traded somewhere else where the stakes are lower and he's not in his hometown and maybe he figures it out. Like he's got to go. But yeah, man. I mean, I know you feel like I'm cursing you, but they're going to win the division. I'm telling you right now.
I'm telling you right now, dude. Okay. Before we go into anything else, let me give you a quick score update here. The Guardians right now have a 9-0 lead against the Royals. They're heading into the 7th. Slade Ciccone has a no-hitter through 6 innings at the moment for Cleveland.
Mike, I'm in the fantasy semis, and I had a choice. I could have picked up Slade Ciccone or Ryan Bergert, who started for Kansas City. Guess which one I picked up? Not Slade
You
Ciccone.
picked Ryan Bergert. You definitely did.
Dude, Bergert's been great. And then last time I checked, he'd scored negative 17 fantasy points to open up my semifinal matchup. So fun.
Oh, by the way, speaking of the Guardians, Tristan Reyes saying, hey, don't you dare disparage the Guardians by saying the Dodgers have basically been them since April.
Well, I mean, they've both been roughly 500 teams.
I believe the words were easiest second half schedule, so we should be good.
Yeah.
He's pulling out receipts now.
I mean, look, we didn't spend this week losing to the Padres and Phillies. We spent this week losing to the Pirates and Orioles.
Yeah.
And now we get to play Colorado this week. And then we get to play the Giants this weekend. Like, it's an easy schedule. It
certainly is. Yeah, but we'll see if they can take advantage of said easy schedule. That's
they won't.
Totally different.
I mean, at this point, Mike, like, there's also, if I'm a Padres fan right now, I'm losing my goddamn mind.
Like, oh yeah.
You're watching the Dodgers just embarrass themselves on a nightly basis, and you can't play good baseball against bad teams either. Padres got swept at home by the Orioles and then lost a game to the Rockies. Like,
maybe the Orioles, listen, they beat the Dodgers, maybe the Orioles are just good.
I mean, the Orioles just went 5-1 this week against the Padres and Dodgers. So I don't know. Like, maybe you should be really worried.
That's what I'm saying, man. Is that it doesn't feel safe. But anyway, yes, Slade Ciccone right now throwing a no-hitter through 6 innings. They are in the top of the 7th, 9-0 lead for the Guardians over the Royals. The Nationals with a 10-2 lead over Miami. That's in Miami. They're in the top of the 6th. The Phillies right now with a 1-0 lead over the Mets. That's in the bottom of the 6th. The Mets, can we spend just like a minute talking about the Mets a little bit? Because I know I live in New York, and I know that Met fans are really kind of pissed at where they've fallen, where the division is pretty much out of reach. And like, I feel like they're almost safely in the wild card now, right? The Reds are 4 games back. The Giants are 4 games back. Like, it feels like the Mets are going to be a playoff team, but they just sent Kodai Senga down to the minors.
Hey, Mike, I wonder if there was a podcast that did a preseason show where they predicted that the Mets would get the last wild card spot. Was there a podcast that did that? Am I imagining that, or did we do that?
No, I think there definitely is a podcast out there. I think that
that same thing. And that same podcast had people in their comments telling us that we're dumbasses because their rotation is fixed and all these guys are going to be amazing this year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Credit where credit is due, though. Nolan McLean looks like a stud.
Great.
That kid looks good.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything, but
no, I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything, but it's like, I mean, that's great, but requiring that is kind of exactly what we said might happen.
Yeah. Yep. No, it's true. It's true. Listen, man, it's not like Met fans aren't aware. It's not like they think they're great. They think they suck.
But they thought they were.
No, 100%. 100%.
Yeah, like, they don't get credit for the self-awareness now, because it's not self-awareness with them. Like, let's be honest. What they're experiencing now is not self-awareness. It's like, please pity me. Please pity me. I'm a Mets fan. I have it so hard. We always do this.
Around the clock.
It's like, no, you don't get to do that when you were pounding your chest in April and May. You don't get to turn around and ask me to feel bad for you. Mike, how many times have we had this conversation? You know?
A ton. We've had this conversation more than any other on the show, I think.
Yeah.
But yes. Anyway, the Phillies right now are beating the Mets in Philadelphia, 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Braves right now with a 3-0 lead over the Cubs. That's in Atlanta. They're in the top of the 6th. Brewers and Rangers are scoreless through 2. That's in Texas. And then we got a bunch of West Coast games. A lot of games on the West Coast this week. Twins and Angels. That is in Anaheim. Simeon Woods, Richardson, and Caden Dana on the bump for that one. That's in Los Angeles or Anaheim. Sorry, caught myself. Reds and Padres. Nick Lodolo, Yu Darvish. That's in San Diego. Cardinals and Mariners play a little bit later tonight. Miles Mikolas and Brian Wu on the bump for that. Arizona and the Giants. That is Chris Matt and Logan Webb on the bump for them. That's in San Francisco. Red Sox playing the A's in Sacramento. Garrett Crochet on the bump for that one as well. And who is this Morales kid? Luis Morales.
He's been
for the A's. 1.59 ERA in 3 starts.
Yeah, and Mike, if you look at these game logs, man, like, I mean, against Detroit, 7 shutout innings, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. At Seattle, 6 innings, 1 run, 2 hits, 6 Ks.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid might be a stud.
Yeah, he might be. He might be. And then the last matchup, Rockies and Dodgers in Los Angeles. It's Chase Dollander and Tyler Glasnow. Chase Dollander, who was at least the Rockies' top pitching prospect, 2-12 this year with a 6.77 ERA.
He's about to be 3-12.
Oh man, it's uncomfortable at this point seeing you so beat up.
I mean, so the difference between, I want to make this clear too. The difference between me and a Mets fan is I'm not going to sit here and be like, feel bad for me. I'm going to be like, no, fuck you, we're the champions. But I'm going to be mad at my guys. I'm just going to be like, yeah, right. you guys are clowns. Figure it out. Like, you have no excuses. Nobody's going to feel bad for you. Like, you're the Dodgers. You're the most talented team in baseball. The way you're playing sucks. You suck. Figure it out. That's where I'm at.
Slade Ciccone, by the way, update, has extended his no-hitter through 7 innings. He had a clean 7th. So
will we have a third no-hitter broken up by a home run at the final out this year? Got to be a Major League record that if it happens.
It might be. It might be. It might happen. But, okay, so let's move to – we are 32 minutes into the show, and we are finally reaching our first topic of the evening. That's what happens when the Dodgers suck and the Yankees all of a sudden turn good. That's what happens. So let's talk about the AL wildcard race. So right now, again, the title of the show that I put in is are the playoffs set in stone, right? And while it might be a little bit early to say so, the league certainly gives you some sort of a feeling that could be the case. The Seattle Mariners right now hold the last wild card spot in the American League. The Yankees, with their 5 games up into a wild card spot. The Red Sox right now are 3.5 games up of a wild card spot. They almost feel like they're going to get in. The Mariners are the team that's kind of, holding on here. Rangers right now 1.5 back, Royals 2 back, Guardians 2.5 back. So those are really the teams kind of vying for the spot. The Rays are 4 games back. They feel like they're kind of on the outside here, but this AL wild card picture is an interesting one because it's not over, but I don't know. This is just the feeling I get for me. The Rangers don't feel like a playoff team this year. They don't. The Guardians don't feel like a playoff team. The Mariners do. So, and that's just based on vibes and nothing else. So the AL wildcard race, Dalton, are the Mariners in that spot? Can anybody in the AL catch them right now?
Well, you're right that this really does. You're right that this really does all come down to the Mariners, right? Because if the Mariners play good baseball and win enough games, they're going to be fine. And the good news for the Mariners is this week they face 2 non-contenders at home with the Cardinals and then 4 with the Angels, right? So if the Mariners have a good week this week and go like 6-1, they have more or less put this away. But if the Mariners trip up at home this week, and let's say they go 3-4, and then you're going to Kansas City to play a team that might be a game or 2 behind you, and it's probably going to be selling out Kauffman for those games if so.
Yeah.
Right? Then you go to Houston for a team that hates you and wants to bury you and is a playoff team. Then you get to come home and play the Rockies, right? That's great. But then you end your season against the Dodgers, who, as much as the Dodgers suck right now, that might be a Dodgers team that's playing for quite a bit. And if my wild card life is on the line, I still don't really want to be playing a Dodgers team that cares.
Right.
So Seattle better win this week. Like them and the Yankees are the 2 teams where it's like, this is a huge week for you to like cement yourself. In Seattle's case, cement yourself. In the Yankees case, it's like make a run at the division. But it's a massive week for Seattle. And here's the other thing about this week. If they play well this week, that series in Houston gets a lot more interesting. You've got a chance at making a run at that division as well. Now, I don't think that matters as much. It's a little bit like the NL West, where you're talking about the 3 seed versus like the 6 seed. You're going to be playing, like in their case, we're looking at a Houston Seattle wildcard series, probably either way. But still, you probably want to get that series at home. But Mike, I want to talk about the wild card real quick, and I don't want to spend too long on this topic, but I don't know, man. Like the Royals are right there. The Guardians, if they win tonight, are right there, and they're up 9-0.
Mm-hmm.
I too am not really a believer in the Rangers. And especially the Rangers have the Brewers this week, and then they get the Mets, and then they get the Astros, and they finish the season at the Guardians. Like they've got a tough run, but the winner of this Guardians versus Royals series, I think, is going to have like a real shot.
You've been banging the Royals drum since the deadline.
I think they're good. They're not playing well tonight, but like that rotation is really solid, and they've done a good job rounding out the roster. Like I don't know, I'm a believer.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I mean, I think the Mariners, and this is also, by the way, coming off a stretch of Mariner baseball where they have been dreadful. I mean, they've been really bad recently. I mean, there was a point where they lost like 6 or 7 in a row, and then or what was it? Maybe they lost. Maybe it was 5 in a row or something like that. They lost,
Yeah,
and then they had another stretch where they lost 4 in a row or lost 4 of their last 5 or something like. They really had a tough stretch, and yeah, the opportunity for the Mariners to gain some ground is certainly there. Right, this week is certainly a point. Like you said, you're playing the Cardinals and the Angels at home.
yeah.
Like you should be able to take advantage of those teams. Win 5 of those games at the very least, right? 5 out of those 7 games. And then you have a series with the Rockies later on. Like there is an opportunity to kind of put this away. But yeah, man, you're right. I mean, this is certainly not over by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, I think the tough part for the Royals and the Guardians is that I feel like they could almost like cancel each other out in a way, right? Like they split a 4-gamer, none of them gain any ground on anything, and they just sit there for half a week and not, gain really any ground.
I mean, that's certainly, if you're Seattle, that's definitely what you're rooting for, is a 2-2 series there.
Right, exactly. And then obviously, I mean, like the Mariners play the Royals next week. So, we could be having a conversation at some point where that Royal Mariner series puts somebody in a playoff spot, and then you're in a mad dash for the last week and a half to try to one up the other. So,
I mean, as a relative neutral to that situation, I am rooting for the Royals to have a big week. And if they have, like, I want the Royals to have a big week, and then I want war, especially because like there's something cool about just two, for lack of a better word, just random ass teams like the Royals and Mariners just being at war for a week and a half and just hating each other out of nowhere.
Yeah. No, it certainly makes it more entertaining. I'll tell you that. And the Royals don't necessarily have. I mean, I shouldn't say that. The Royals do have a bit of a ways to get there. They're in the middle of a 4-gamer on the road in Cleveland. Then they go to Philly for 3 more. Home against the Mariners, home against the Blue Jays. That's tough stuff.
Tough road.
That's tough stuff. But then they end their season on the road in Anaheim and on the road against the A's. So they have an opportunity to gain ground if they lose some in the last bit of the season against teams that aren't trying. But listen, there's a lot of pressure on a lot of these teams, right? I mean, the Rangers certainly are not out of it. I don't have particular faith in them or anything like that, but a game and a half back is a game and a half back. And, for as bad as they've been over the course of the year, especially offensively, The fact that they're even in that position now is mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, Mike, let me ask you this. Which of these teams do you want to see in that last spot?
Are you asking me as a generic baseball fan?
Yes, not as a Yankee fan.
Mariners. I would want to see the Mariners in it.
Yeah. Which team do you want to see as a Yankee fan?
Probably either Texas or Cleveland.
I would say Cleveland, probably, right?
Yeah.
Because like with Texas, you're still looking down the barrel at DeGrom in a 3-game.
Yeah, series. Right. Texas definitely has better pitching. Yeah, you make a good point. Yeah. But, probably. Yeah. I would agree. I would probably say Cleveland.
And I think we both agree that at this point, the NL playoffs, we know which teams are going to be in it. It's just going to be like, are the Dodgers the 3 seed or the 5 seed? No, the Padres the 3 seed or the 5 seed.
Yeah, that certainly seems to be the case, right? I mean, there was a point where the Reds were really creeping up on the Mets for that last wild card spot. And it just seems like they have fallen off considerably over the past couple of weeks, and that's just no longer the case anymore.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's shift to this. Speaking about the National League, by the way, the Milwaukee Brewers are 89-55. They easily have the best record in baseball at the moment. And they just don't seem to lose very much. I mean, they split a series with the Diamondbacks a couple of weeks ago. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Phillies a couple of weeks ago. But I don't know, man. They're just, I don't know. They're good. It's so disappointing because we never give them any credit because, whatever, it's the Brewers. Their best player is a 37-year-old Christian Yelich or however old he is now. But he might be 32, and I'm just saying he's 37. But I don't know.
Are you ready to play a game we've played once before?
Oh God! Oh, is this like the Guess the War or something like that game? On
we're gonna do a little differently this time. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna share a tab.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Let me know. Can you see this tab now?
I can. Yes.
Okay. We're gonna name these players from left to right. Okay. Now I cheated. These are their top 12. These are their top 12 players in WAR.
Okay? I have to guess them by face.
Yep.
Okay.
We're gonna get as many of these ads out of the way as we can get. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Yep.
So we're gonna go furthest to the left, the one that my cursor is above. Who is this?
That's Bryce Terang.
Okay.
That's Freddie Peralta. That's William Contreras. Christian Yelich.
Okay, now it gets interesting.
That's Sal Frelick.
Yep.
That is that's Quinn Priester.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good one. That's not Joey Ortiz, is it?
That is Isaac Collins.
Oh, that's
for WAR.
Yeah. That is Caleb Durbin.
Good one. Yep.
Oh God. I don't know. I don't know this one.
That is Abner Uribe.
That's Abner Uribe. That's right.
He's been an unbelievable reliever.
He's nasty, by the way. He's nasty.
Yeah.
All right. So the next one's Jackson Churio, obviously.
Yep.
The guy all the way to the right is oh my God. Why am I blanking so bad? He's the guy that complained about the torpedo bats earlier in the year when the Yankees used him. Oh my God. Trevor McGill. I'm sorry.
I love that that's your point of reference.
Yeah, Trevor McGill. I knew who it was. It just took me a minute to get there. I don't know.
Aaron Ashby. So
I appreciate the way you did this, by the way. This is kind of funny.
I thought you might. Anyway, so you can see why the Brewers have been flying under the radar, right?
Yeah, right.
Because I think you got a lot more faces on that list right than the average baseball fan would.
Sure, yeah.
Even more than like the most, slightly non-casual baseball fan would. But like at a certain point, we have to start talking about the Brewers like an even better version of the Rays in terms of their ability to just like pump out just random guys that turn into studs.
Yeah, right.
Because the Brewers are in the playoffs almost every year. The Rays are not. And in a year where you look around the league and, I mean, we're not going to have a 100-game winner this year.
No.
If we do, it's going to be the Brewers. Like, and it would be because they finished the season on a little bit of a tear. Actually, it wouldn't have to be that much of a tear.
Yeah.
But the Brewers have a shot at it. Nobody else really does. I got to give them a lot of credit, man. Like, they're the only team that seems to be treating this season like an opportunity and like a pennant race. And everybody else just seems to be, for lack of a better word, kind of just going through the motions. Man, they're good. Like, this bullpen is nasty. The starting rotation is nasty. We've had questions about their hitting all year, but like Bryce Turang is a top 15 player in baseball in terms of just raw WAR.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the OPS pluses across this lineup. Let me read you the 9 in their lineup. Okay. There's only one OPS plus that's below average, and that's Joey Ortiz.
Wow.
The rest of their lineup: William Contreras, 115, Rhys Hoskins, 114, Bryce Turang, 126, Caleb Durbin, 100, Isaac Collins, 125, Jackson Churio, 118, Sal Frelick, 118, Christian Yelich, 126. And for those of you who don't know, 100 is average, right? So anything you are above that is how many percentage points you are above average. And oh, by the way, Andrew Vaughn, 143, Andrew Monasterio, 123.
That's crazy. Andrew Vaughn's an amazing story, by the way, too.
And he's cooled off a bit, but still, I mean, my goodness. Like,
yeah. Andrew Vaughn was given up on in Chicago. The White Sox gave up on him.
Yeah.
And then went to the Angels, and the Angels gave up on him.
Well, he never actually went to the Angels.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
MLB just put him in an Angels hat in a photo for reasons nobody will ever know.
Oh, yeah. See, okay. So, oh boy, did our program lose credibility for that? Probably, maybe.
Maybe.
It's fine, whatever. Who cares? But yeah, dude, I'm 100% with you. We definitely need to start talking about them as like the Rays, but better. You're right.
I mean, I think right now, Mike, I think they're a legitimate World Series favorite at this point.
Yeah. So let's play that game. Okay. Brewer, and this is for like favorite to win the World Series. Like who you like more to win the World Series.
Well,
Brewers.
We made these lists 2 weeks ago that I wrote down.
Right.
I'm moving mine around a ton. Right. So I'm just going to grab a pen and I'm just going to make edits to mine. I had it in the NL. I had it Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Brewers, Cubs.
Yeah.
If I had to re-rank them, I'm going Brewers, Padres, Phillies, Dodgers, Cubs.
Wow.
And some of that is recency bias dropping the Dodgers that low, but I legitimately think the Brewers are the favorite to win the World Series at this point. They're the only thing in baseball that's been consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. I think it's so. This is why the Brewers are so interesting to talk about, just because it is so hard for me to actually buy in. It just is, right? Because I look at the National League, and as much as the Dodgers are scuffling and have been, fairly mediocre for the majority of the season, I just am like, well, it's Ohtani and Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman and Yamamoto, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And I look at the Padres and I see that rotation and what they do, and with Tatis and Arias and Bogarts and Machado with the year that he's having. And then I look at the Phillies and how their playoff built and how that lineup just feeds off of one another. And obviously Zach Wheeler's injury changes a lot of things. And then I look at the Brewers and I see Jose Quintana starting playoff games. And I'm like, how am I supposed to buy into that? But it's freaky, right? I see Trey Turner and Bryce Harper sitting at the top of the Phillies lineup heading into a playoff series. And then with the Brewers, I see Sal Frelick and Bryce Turang. It just doesn't feel like it's the same game. But I don't know, man. It's wild how this sport works. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the Brewers in a playoff series, especially in a Well, they're not going to be in any 3-game series, but you think about a 5-game series against Milwaukee, and they're going to go Freddie Peralta, Quinn Priester, and then Jacob Mizorowski or Jose Quintana in game 3, the other one in game 4. Now, I don't think any of those guys are going to be looked at as like true like ace of ace types.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, Quinn Priester has been an absolute all-star. Like just full stop.
Yeah.
Freddie Peralta 16-5 with a 2.5 ERA.
Yeah.
Jose Quintana 11-5 with a 3.6. Jacob Mizorowski has arguably the best stuff in baseball. He started to struggle a little bit, but if you can bring him into a game, like let's say they decide to go 3-man rotation in the playoffs, which they do, they have the roster to do that. And in game 3, you go Mizorowski, you ride him until he's not good, and then you go to Jose Quintana. That's going to be tough, man, especially when you consider those two guys bouncing off of one another and how different they are. And then you can go Brandon Woodruff as necessary. There's a lot. There's a lot on that shelf available to them.
Yeah, no, there certainly is. You don't get a break with them, right? Like that's the thing about the Brewers rotation is that you don't really get a break. Like it's a lot of like Freddie Peralta is very, very good, but you're talking about like even if Quinn Priester is not at Freddie Peralta's level, they're not that far apart, and it just doesn't get really any easier. It's not like when you were playing the Guardians in the playoffs last year and you simply got a break when Matthew Boyd was on the bump or something like that, right? Like it's not like that. It's not like that with them. They legitimately have a playoff rotation, bar none, by the way, on budget rotation options, whether it's their own or just cheap free agency signings they've made.
Yeah. Could you imagine if this team had gone for it at the deadline?
Well, let's have this conversation for a minute. If you ever want to wonder, and this is honestly, if you're a front office in Major League Baseball, you're a mid-market team, small market team in Major League Baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers are the exact reason why those teams don't spend money. That's why. Look at what the Dodgers are doing with a $350, $400 million payroll. Look at what the Brewers are doing with $150 million.
Yeah, I mean, I would obviously argue against the validity of that.
Sure.
But I'm not going to argue that what you're saying is what they're using as their excuse, right?
I think that's 100% what they're using as their excuse. I agree with you. I don't think that should be the case for Major League teams, how they should operate, but I think that's why.
Right. Oh, I mean, look, they've been saying it for years, right? They're like, oh, look at the Rays in the playoffs. Look at the Brewers in the playoffs. Look at the Diamondbacks making the World Series. You know what I mean? It's been a course for a long time. It's honestly like there's part of me that wants to root against the Brewers in that sense. But like I don't want that rewarded, right? Like,
right, because it's that kind of behavior, right?
But I do want the market rewarded. Like Milwaukee fans are great fans who have been through a lot of playoff hurt with the Brewers.
And that's,
and
that's really the thing that I think has put the Dodgers, and I know you're upset with them at the moment, but that's what puts the Dodgers ahead of everybody else in baseball, is because they spend money like the Dodgers, like the Yankees, but they also develop players like the Rays and the Brewers. Yeah. They are the only organization, in my mind right now, they are the only organization that I can come up with that have that combination of deep pockets and a great development staff.
I think there's one other organization that is not there yet, but is closer than I want to imagine that they are. Do you know what organization you're talking about?
The Padres.
No.
The Mets.
I don't think the Padres can develop players the way the Dodgers can. It's the Mets.
The Mets.
Mets, what the Mets have started to accomplish in terms of developing talent and getting it to the majors is, and they've been very vocal about the fact that they want to be the Dodgers. They to me are the team that's closest to being that as well. And it's part of what's not, I mean, I guess we can go to this last topic on the Dodgers briefly because we don't need to dwell on it, but it's part of what makes the Dodgers so infuriating to me.
Yeah.
Is like you've built a machine that should never operate this poorly.
Yeah.
Like a bad season for the Dodgers with how they're built and how they develop and everything else. A bad season for you should be 93 wins. Like legitimately.
Yep.
That's what a bad season should look like. You should never be only 15 games up over 500 in September. Do I sound spoiled saying that? Yes, but I am spoiled. And the fact that over these last 12 years that you've been this type of organization, you have won 60-game World Series that is legitimate, but is a 60-game season, and you have won very, very legitimate World Series last year.
Yeah.
They should have 4, Mike, over that period. Legitimately, I think they should have had 4.
It's true. They are a Death Star organization, and that's the way they operate. And you're saying that you're coming off as a bit spoiled. You're not, because everybody in baseball was saying this team's going to win 125 games.
Yeah.
Like, we thought this Dodger team was no joke, and nobody was exaggerating. Everybody said that this Dodger team was the best roster ever constructed, based on their signings and their own development. We talked about it early in the year that when healthy, the Dodgers have 2 legitimate above average major league rotations.
Yeah.
2. So it's not an exaggeration based on how they operate.
I mean,
now,
I know you haven't watched a lot of them this year, and like I'm not recommending that you start staying up late to watch this fucking abomination. But like you watch their games right now.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, they had a game in Pittsburgh where they left the bases loaded 3 times in the first 5 innings without scoring.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, there's no situational approaches. There's no they don't do any of the little things. It's just, it's really sloppy. It's a bad brand of baseball. It's a lot of like just thoughtless at bats. It's infuriating.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that boils down to a conversation I think that we could have a different time, but that's the nature of baseball today. It just is. Like, and like I said, I am not somebody who is, the perceived notion of anti advanced metric or whatever the hell it is, right? But the whole launch angle, I'm telling you, I'm telling you.
I would argue that people who are pro analytics are also pro like taking thoughtful at bats in big situations.
Sure. But is like how often do you bunt now in Major League Baseball?
See, but that's the thing, Mike, at least for me, I'm not saying we should be bunting more or we should be like trying to play a bunch of small ball, but like you need to be able to adjust your approach to put the ball in play situationally.
Right. But I think that all ties in. That's my whole thing, is I think that all ties into the same deal.
Yeah, like, I think it might tie in cause and effect wise, but not philosophically, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let me give you one more score update, then we'll head to the hot corner. The Guardians right now, did the Royals get a hit? They did. The Royals got a hit. The no-hitter right now for Slade Ciccone is over. Who spoiled it? Michael Massey spoiled it for the Royals. For the Guardians, I'm sorry. It is a 10-0 lead right now for the Guardians right now, though. They are heading into the 9th. So that game is about to end. Nationals with a 13-2 lead over the Marlins in Miami. That's in the bottom of the 7th. The Mets are still down 1-0 to the Phillies in the bottom of the 8th. I can hear the screams now.
Well, you know what that means, too. They're about to have to deal with Yohan Duran.
Yes, they are. They brought Ryan Helsley into the game. How terrible has Ryan Helsley been for the Mets?
Yeah.
That's been brutal. He has been worse than Devin Williams in his outings with the Mets.
Yeah, it's the same thing that the Dodgers are doing with Tanner Scott, where this is why I am so steadfast about like don't trade a bunch of assets for a reliever. Generally, like
Yeah, right.
don't pay a reliever a lot of money for a long time. Like sign relievers to 1-year deals and hope for the best. Because I mean, look, and I'm not like Helsley they traded for, but this is what can happen, man. Relievers are so random.
They are. They are very random. And it's not like Ryan Helsley has had a very steadfast career where he's been dominant. He's had a very up and down career mostly. Yeah. And they gave up a lot. They gave up more to get Tyler Rogers than Ryan Helsley, to be fair, but they did give up a lot to get both of those guys, and that bullpen still struggles. So again, 1-0 lead for the Phillies in the bottom of the 8th. They're over the Mets. Braves with a 3-1 lead over the Cubs. They're heading into the top of the 8th. That's in Atlanta. Brewers and Rangers still scoreless right now in the top of the 5th. Pitchers duel between Jose Quintana and Jacob Latz. So there's that. So they're scoreless right now. And then again, you have the Twins and Angels later tonight. That's in Anaheim. Reds and Padres with Nick Lodolo, Yu Darvish in San Diego. Cardinals and Mariners in Seattle. Miles Michaelis, Brian Wu. Diamondbacks and Giants. That's in San Francisco. Logan Webb on the bump for that one, with Nabil Krismat on the bump for that as well for the Diamondbacks. Red Sox, A's, Garrett Crochet, Luis Morales, pitchers duel in Sacramento for them. And then the Rockies and Dodgers, it's Chase Dollander and Tyler Glasnow, where Chase Dollander is guaranteed to get a win at Dodger Stadium as far as Dalton is concerned. All right, Dalton, hot corner. What do you have for us tonight?
There's nothing that's really sticking out to me. I think like the one thing that I'm tempted by is this Boston and Oakland, Boston, Sacramento, Boston, the A's. First 5 innings in that game under 4.5. Like, I think, I'll put it this way. I don't think Garrett Crochet is going to get shelled in Oakland. I just don't see it happening. And Luis Morales has been really good. If he continues to pitch the way he's been pitching, this is going to hit. So first 5 innings, let's see, under 4.5. Is there a 5 out there? No, under 4.5, even money. We'll go with that. First 5 innings, Boston and Sacramento.
I think that's pretty good. I think that's fairly good. I mean, is Garrett Crochet going to win the Cy Young? Or is it going to be School again?
I don't know. I'd have to take a closer look at it again. It hasn't been top of mind for me.
They are so close. They are so close. But that's a race. Maybe we'll discuss that next week, because that's something.
It'd be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. That is a tight race right now. All right. That does it for us. Mike Guido, that's Dalton Brown. It was great to have you here. Again, everybody that chimes in the comments, we very, very much appreciate it. If you have not checked out any of the other Grid content, make sure that you do at the Grid Network, YouTube, Instagram, all that crap. Make sure you check that out every Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock. What did I say? Monday, 8 o'clock Eastern. There we go.
Yeah.
Covered all the bases. Yeah, it's late. Whatever. It's 9:07 here on the East Coast. I'm tired. I have an injured foot. Like we're just going through the motions here. That's where you'll find us every Monday on the Bicoastal Baseball Podcast. We will see you next week.